As of now, we're entering a fully realized era of Kingdom Hearts, completely integrating the critical events of the Union Cross and Dark Road kinda eras into the non-mobile side of the Kingdom Hearts franchise that we lacked exposure for before. Don't get me wrong, if you're a Kingdom Hearts fan, there's a very high chance that you do know this stuff, but there's a lot of Kingdom Hearts fans that just went, who's this? Who's this orange-haired girl? So from the reveal of Luxu's ushering in of the foretellers into the current era after Xehanort's death, and Julicia's sighting and Quadratum from the view of introducing Sora to the realm, the Lost Master saga, which is simultaneously the shell surrounding and web heavily interweaving and influencing the Xehanort saga in reality, is going full force at this point. And in order for things to progress, I'm convinced that certain plot lines and character revelations must come to pass. The first being the Crowns of Light and Union leaders sent to the future from the Union Cross era. Those that are the Crowns of Light and Union leaders originate from the Union Cross era, and many of them that we've seen in the present, such as Ventus, Laurium aka Marluxia, Alrina aka Larxene, and of course with the Kingdom Hearts 4 reveal, Julicia. And then those of them that we heavily suspect and have much evidence to support are being held here in the present, but just hidden, like Scold as Subject X. And by the way, for that I made a full video about why I'm convinced Scold and Subject X are the same person, so check that out if you haven't. The link is below. You're gonna want to watch that one. But to go with each of those mentioned is a huge factor that we've seen signs of that'll change the progression of everything going forward. That being their memories. Their memories that each of them lost in the jump to the future they made using the Ark/lifeboat in order to escape the downfall of Daybreak Town, and what will become of them if not already has become. Because really, it's a big question for me, even personally. Take Larxene and Marluxia for example. Do they now have their sets of memories back? We know in Marluxia's death and his becoming of Laurium once again, he said he was finally able to remember why he was doing all of this that he's been doing up till now. But it's not completely clear if it's actually all of it, simply because he dies before he expands on any of that. But then now look at Larxene's death. She mentioned to Sora how she was just along for the ride, but she wouldn't reveal who. She just kept it as a secret because she's petty like that. Now for Union Cross enjoyers, we are pretty confident that it's Marluxia she was talking about, because they come from the same era in the past and they made the trip to the future at the same time. And for them to age more, they had to have been around a little while before they joined the organization. But does that mean that she got her memories back in full? Or did they both get theirs back? Or do they just have knowledge of the past because Xemnas revealing of the ancient Keyblade legacy that lives within them from that one scene in Kingdom Hearts 3, if you guys remember that. I'm putting it up on screen anyway. So which one is it? Honestly, I'm going along with the train of thought that Xemnas revealing secrets of their past was able to give them a sort of passage to unlocking those memories they lost from within the Lightboat. Yet, taking that into account, let's look at Ventus. Ventus, like always, is a bit more of a curious case. He's kind of an exact 50-50 split on whether he has his memories or not. We really can't tell, but we have ideas though. Remember at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, he welcomes back a Kirithi, his Kirithi, after they made Ericus's grave. And he sees Kirithi kind of hiding and then holds his arm out open to him so he can come and give him a big ol' hug. So sweet, by the way. And graciously brings him back with him, Terra, and Octa. Now, since we don't have dialogue or we can't hear what they're talking about, we don't know what the reason could be. Either he remembers and act like he never forgot with Kirithi, so he welcomes him back to be part of the family, or he just sees this adorable cat thing just peeking at them and being the kind guy he is, welcomes him into the fold. Honestly, my first impression when I beat Kingdom Hearts 3 was that he remembers and just welcomes Kirithi back into the fold like nothing ever happened, like his memories never left. Or rather, when we first got the knowledge that Ventus is from that era, that's what I thought about that scene from Kingdom Hearts 3. Honestly, I forget if that had come out by the time Kingdom Hearts 3 came out. So what do you all think about these three, Ventus, Laurium, and Alrina? And while you're commenting, put hashtag reconnect under comment. And of course, you're already watching, so you might as well subscribe. I mean, while you're here, I mean, I'm just saying, if you're scrolling, you know. Anyways, last but not least, Subject X. Again, I made a big old entire thick video on why I'm convinced Scold is in fact Subject X thoroughly, and how she's also the third friend of Lee and Isa that they talked about before the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, and that Nomura also talked about in a recent interview that's going to have more light shed on it. Again, the link is below, so check that out if you haven't, because I'm not going to go into much details in this video about who Subject X is, who Scold is, or why they're the same here, and the relation to Lee and Isa and all that good stuff. I'm not going to talk about that here. You guys can check out that video. Again, it's below. But I will say Scold as Subject X awakens in a new time period with no memories except 4 friends and a key, and the phrase "may your heart be your guiding key." You can find this out by reading the first secret report from Kingdom Hearts 3. Pretty sure it's the first one. Now this tells me something specific, that each of them has the capacity to remember something of the past at least, or that there's at least potential that this can trigger something more. And the one carrying out these experiments of the heart on her to dive into memories was none other than, you guessed it, Apprentice Xehanort again. He's doing key research on the facets of all of this stuff before Luxu, as Xigbar at that time, broke Scold out of Xehanort's lab and has been all this time keeping transporting her somewhere, because she admitted that someone with an eye patch took her out of there. But it's still years and years pass by her, and she admits to still not remembering who she is, except just the phrase, "May your heart be your guiding key." But enough about them for now. We're moving on to the second biggest factor, being about everybody's favorite character, apparently, Luxu. Again, there's so much in the Kingdom Hearts 3 secret reports. So much. And in those secret reports, you can find out that Luxu stated some pretty interesting things from that era in Union Cross. That he pledged to meet the 5 Union leaders once more after watching them and the other Crowns of Light teleport to the future using the Arc-sized lifeboat, whichever you like to say. So as all this is happening, as Daybreak Town is collapsing, the data world is collapsing, they have to take the lifeboat into the future, and some of them stay behind too. And Luxu's still just fulfilling his own interpretation of the Master Master's mission, as the Union leaders do theirs, which is following in the footsteps of the mission of Ava's fabled dandelions. The thing is, things didn't go exactly as planned, and I'm still curious to know if Luxu knew that things weren't going to go as the Union leaders planned, or if he did know, how much exactly did he know? Did the Book of Prophecies say that sort of thing? Because he looked into it. Because for example, he knew that there was going to be a virus that would throw a wrench into things, but he also didn't know that Maleficent was going to meddle as much as she did, or even in the end, how much exactly she did know or not know or meddle. It's very interesting, I'll say that, but we'll get to that another time. So Luxu stole Brain's body, sent his heart away so he can brought back through a medium in his hat in the future in Scala Edkylum. Ephemera never made it out in time, and Julicia, who was originally supposed to be a Union leader, was stuck in Quadratum in its afterlife because she, got killed by darkness. So to say the least, one being dead and probably not coming back, aka Ephemera, one dead and stuck in another reality that's like an afterlife, aka Julicia, and one where they may or may not have gotten the chance to use the Arc again, or could have just lived out their days there in Scala Edkylum, aka Brain. How is this man Luxu planning to gather the Union leaders that were Scold, Ephemera, Brain, Ventus, and Laurium all together at once again in the present? Unless we shouldn't take this as literal now, because things are constantly changing in time. We shouldn't take this as something that's still going to happen, because this was just his intention, this was just his plan. But since he wasn't completely sure of how the Union leaders themselves would progress, or did he? Maybe he has to make up a new plan, or maybe his fail-safe is his own seed of light, that cloaked figure that he put in the Arc at that one time at the end of Union Cross. Maybe he saw all of this too. Maybe that's why he put that seed of light going to the future. Another video coming about that specific thing soon, because something doesn't seem right about that. But hey, y'all gonna have to watch out for the next video. Subscribe and stay tuned for that video. And last and certainly not least, you know her, you love her, Julicia. That's our daughter right there. The case of Julicia continues. So Julicia, as we knew, was just dead. But thanks to the Kingdom Hearts 4 reveal, she resides in Quadratum in the same afterlife type plane that Sora is in, even though Quadratum itself isn't one. Now, since she and Sora are both here, and the goal is to get Sora back, will we also be able to get Julicia back? Will we see a fated reunion between Laurium and Julicia in the present, or will we get something like the Warriors of Light plus Arena and Laurium get to meet them in Quadratum, but Julicia's been dead way too long, and for some reason because of that isn't able to come back to life like Sora can, so we get a sad, teary goodbye. I actually just thought of that right now as I'm doing this, and that would be so sad, man. But it wouldn't be Kingdom Hearts if it wasn't both hopeful and happy, and extremely sad and depressing and tear-jerking. A very solid bittersweet. But yeah, that's it. That's where I'm stopping here. I'm really interested in seeing what's to come out of all of these characters from the Union Cross era now, especially Luxu having to revise his intention with the foretellers and the Union leaders, if Laurium and Arena are gonna be brought into the fold, or just do their own thing and make their own order with the other Union leaders and Crowns of Light that may or may not return in full. But let me know what you guys think this is going to be like. How do you think this is going to go with Luxu, with Julicia's life and future, with Sora, with Scold as Subject X, all of that good stuff. And when you comment, don't forget to put hashtag reconnect on your comments so I know you was paying attention. That's secret code for this video. And while you're down there, go ahead and hit that big old red subscribe button right there. It's super easy. I mean, you might as well hit the bell too, so you see when I got future videos and streams of all kinds, man. Don't forget to check the links in the description for my Twitter and Twitch, especially, which is my primary streaming platform for all types of good stuff. Because of course, it helps me to keep making content for y'all, and y'all know I enjoy it, and I know you guys enjoy it too. And thank you for staying this long. Thank y'all for checking out the video as well, and I'll catch you in the next one.